In Dead Island 2, everyone uses a variety of weapons and mechanics to deal with the undead hordes. While melee weaponry is great for slashing into the mobs to finish them off, there are actually other tools that you can use to exploit to get the upper hand within combat when, you are facing all of those zombies. And of course, there are a lot of zombies within Dead Island 2. The whole idea of the game is, of course, for it to be a zombie survival game, and pretty much the entire game involves combat. Literally every minute or two, you are getting in some sort of combat, so you definitely want to make sure that you're using the best weapons possible. And we've already done a video focusing on the best assault rifles, we've done a video focusing on the best melee weapons, we've done a video focusing on the best legendary weapons, and in this video we are going to be focusing on the best throwable weapons, the Dead Island 2 curveballs. And a great example of getting the upper hand in combat is to use the curveballs, which can be unlocked while advancing through the main story and just exploring the general area. Now, curveballs are throwable items such as grenades or shurikens that regenerate after a time of being used, so you may throw them at foes again and again. And there are plenty of different curveballs that you can unlock, and in this video we're going to be going over the best curveballs that you can get within Dead Island 2. So let's waste no more time and let's get straight into the best curveballs within Dead Island 2. So first of all, there is meat bait. So this is unlocked very early into the game. The meat bait curveball is an item that many of you may forget exists compared to many of the other explosive options. Meat bait may not do any damage, but it is actually a brilliant way to distract zombies when you aren't looking for a fight or want to line up some lethal attacks by getting behind those zombies so you aren't seen, and depending on the character you use, sometimes that is a necessity. So when playing the likes of the Slayer Bruno, he does more damage when striking from behind, which is an example of that. So it's definitely worth, utilizing the meat baits to be able to get behind them and turn the attention away from you so you can allow Bruno to reach his full potential within combat. Definitely something worth noting. Definitely a very, very useful curveball for those of you that are playing as certain characters like Bruno. But of course, if you're playing as a more tanky character, then well, it's maybe not going to be as beneficial, but still a very good option. Let's say you're very low on health, then you do need to be able to get those zombies away from you. Using a meat bait could save your life. So let's move on to the next one, which is a pipe bomb. Now, although referred to as a pipe bomb, this grenade isn't typically a lethal pipe bomb like you may think of. Instead, this is a makeshift grenade made from a piece of pipe. While it doesn't do as much damage as the other curveballs, the pipe bomb excels in its high force rating. This means that if the explosion isn't likely to kill the zombie it explodes under, the force damage is actually likely to knock them off of their feet, so you can easily maim them with a stomp to the head. An easy way to be able to take out a zombie. This also doesn't use the durability on your weapons. You'll find that the durability on your weapons will drain pretty quickly considering the high amount of combat within the game and the weapon repair system, so being able to minimize that by being able to use some of your curveballs like a pipe bomb to either kill or knock down the zombies allows you to save that durability on your weapons and also make combat a bit easier when there is, of course, a massive group of zombies. So let's move on to the next one, which is an electric star. So even the curveball tools you are able to purchase around Hele can do status effects to the undead, and the electric shuriken is one of those many options. When hitting a zombie with the electric star, this sharp piece of metal will submerge itself into the skin of the target and begin to actually electrocute them, hence the name, the electric star. Other than that, this weapon has a great range but very poor damage as it aims to stun rather than kill. So, if you are looking to be able to kill those zombies quickly, then the electric star isn't going to do that for you. This effect is more likely to work on those weaker enemies such as walkers or shamblers, as it does stun them much quicker than on the more stronger enemies that you may be facing. So let's move on to the Molotov cocktail. So similar to the electric star, the Molotov cocktail is another curveball that does little damage initially, but it will burn an opponent to a crisp gradually over time. The Molotov cocktail is a brilliant curveball for you to use when being approached by hordes of zombies, as the fire is sure to spread across every single one of them. Now, due to this being a glass bottle, the effect of the Molotov cocktail begins as soon as it impacts a zombie or the floor. This means that you don't need to worry about timing your attack. It allows you to make up a quick strategy with fuel and ignite it with the Molotov. It's a great way to be able to really allow you some time and also take out quite a few zombies. It's a pretty powerful one as well, pretty underestimated and, underrated in my opinion within Dead Island 2. I'd really recommend using a Molotov when there is a big group of zombies, an easy way to take out quite a few of them. So let's move on to the Chem Bomb. So doing the opposite effects of the Molotov cocktail, the Chem Bomb is another early game curveball that you are likely to use surprisingly more often often than you might anticipate. When thrown as fire, it will instantly extinguish the flame. Now this makes it incredibly useful against flaming runners and walkers that are likely to set a slayer ablaze if you do get too close, and it is worth noting that throughout the story it is actually required to use this, so obviously it's going to be one of the stronger ones since, well, it is a necessity. And besides this, hitting an average zombie with the chem bomb will actually temporarily stun them and allow you to quickly attack them. The chem bomb also has its use outside of combat, such as extinguishing the flames on a ground that may be blocking a path for you, which you'll find will happen a fair bit, especially in the early parts of the game. You'll find that they do make you use this. Developers have implemented it, so this chem bomb does have to be used to be able to get from point A to point B, just so of course you know that it is there and you are able to utilize it. So yeah, when there's a big flame, definitely remember that you are able to extinguish it. So let's move on to the base bomb. A much loved upgrade from the usual meat bait, the base bomb does exactly what a normal bait does, but with an explosive aftermath. It's literally just the meat bait, but well, better. By throwing down the base bomb, this jar of sludge will attract zombies closer before exploding once the timer has ended. Now, although the damage may seem pretty insignificant when compared to some of the other curveballs that you can acquire within Dead Island 2, it actually gives off an immense amount of force that will likely knock down a zombie if it doesn't kill them instantly like some of the other curveballs that you can use. This makes the bait bomb a convincing choice for you when you are facing a group of zombies, one of the more powerful curveballs within Dead Island 2. So let's move on to what I would say is the second to best curveball you can use within Dead Island 2, and that is the sticky bomb. And this is by far one of the best explosives in the game, as well as one of the strongest as well. The sticky bomb has both the damage and the force to be one of the most lethal curveballs within Dead Island 2. This can be thrown directly at a zombie, to which it will attach to them, making it impossible for them to, of course, avoid the damage that will later follow. The only downside to the sticky bomb is its small explosion radius. Now this is because it's quite controlled due to, of course, sticking to targets, so it does have to be balanced in some aspects. However, it is still useful against a group of zombies if, of course, they are close enough together. Just remember that the range isn't very impressive with this one, so yeah, it's mainly best for smaller groups of zombies or a big group of zombies if they're all very close together. And lastly, let's get on to the best curveball that you can use within Dead Island 2. Now, it is worth noting that some of these are better in certain situations. Of course, you've got ones that are good for taking out flames, and of course, this best curveball within the game isn't going to be able to do that. So depending on the situation, some curveballs will be better than others, but overall for combat, this is going to be the best curveball that you could use, and that is the shuriken. This is one of the best curveballs available in the game, and it's actually the first one that you will unlock while on your adventure in Hell A. The shuriken throws 3 ninja stars at zombies that are likely to tear off the limbs of multiple zombies if it is positioned correctly. Although the damage from the shuriken may actually seem quite weak, you shouldn't be throwing the shuriken with the expectation of actually killing a target instantly. The weapon should be used to target certain spots of the zombie to make the battle much easier for you. It's going to be able to weaken those zombies. Maybe it will take out their legs so they're just on the floor and literally can't cause you any harm. It's an easy way to be able to weaken zombies, and sometimes if they are weak, it will be able to take them out. Definitely the best curveball, and it is also a very versatile Dead Island 2 curveball that can be used in loads of different combat situations. You don't have to think as much about the position of the zombies and the range. Generally, it should be fine when you are using the shuriken. But there you go, those are the best curveballs that you can use within Dead Island 2, and yeah, that does just about wrap up things here. Now, on screen now, you are seeing a link to a video where I go over the best melee weapons that you can use within Dead Island 2. Hit the link on the screen now if you are interested in watching that.